Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so today we're going to do things a little bit different. So you had this worksheet in front of you. It looks exactly like the one that you see on your screen right now, with a chart on the front and a graph on the back. So what you're going to do here, some of this will be familiar to you and some of it will be new. What I would like you to do, I'm going to zoom in here, and I want you to look at this chart up here. And I'm going to have you fill out some of it that you're already familiar with. I'm going to show you what columns to fill in. Some of you will probably actually know right off the bat which ones to do. But you're going to do total fixed cost. You should be able to do that. Alright. Do that one. Fill in that column. Fill in the total variable cost. Fill in the total cost here for me. And fill in the average total cost as well as the marginal cost. So that's what, 5 columns that I'd like you to do. Take a minute, go through and do that. It shouldn't be too tricky for you, alright? I'll kind of chill out here while you do that. Go. Alright, and then when you get done, it should look something like this here. And hopefully I haven't made any errors, but the total fixed cost, like we've talked about, stays the same whether you're making 9 avocados or no avocados. And this is true for any product, not just avocados, but we're dealing with avocados today. The variable cost, you see here, they increase as we go along. And your total cost is the sum of your total fixed and total variable cost. Hopefully everybody's with me so far. Now, let's jump over here to marginal cost, where you had to do the change in the total cost and over the change in the quantity. If you notice, our output goes up by 1 each time, so the bottom here is 1, which makes your life a lot easier. So you just look at the change in the total cost from 4 to 6 for the first unit. That's worth 2. 2 over 1 gets you 2. So the marginal cost of the first unit is 2. For the second one, you go from 6 to 9. That's a change of 3. Notice what you're doing here when you do these marginal costs. You're figuring out the cost of an additional production of avocado here. So what one extra avocado is going to cost you. And so we find these out for each unit that we produce. Average total cost, just like anytime you do average, you're taking the total cost over the quantity. The total cost here for the first unit is 6 over 1. Gets you 6. 9 over 2 for the second, 4.5, so on and so forth. You should notice that these go down and then they go back up. Here's what I would like you to do now. I would like you to, and this I realize it's kind of a pain in the butt, so I'll leave this up on your screen and you can use these numbers. But I'd like you to flip over to the back where the chart or the graph is that looks like this guy right here. Okay? And on this guy, I want you to do the marginal cost and the average total cost. Go ahead and graph it right here for me. Okay? And I'll go back so you can look at this chart and you don't have to flip back and forth, but you're doing the marginal cost and the average total cost. Do that for me right now on your graph. Now, once you're done with that, we're going to look at something else here. We're going to look at the new values on this chart that you may not know about. Now, we've talked a lot about profit, but we haven't been able to really calculate profit. Well, let me say that different. We have been able to calculate profit, but we haven't figured out how to determine or calculate the second variable that we need. Let me try to say that again. So profits equal, somebody for me, help me out here. Hopefully you know total revenue minus your total cost. We've talked a lot about calculating cost, but we haven't talked so much about calculating revenue. And if you look over here, your total revenue is right here, but the column is blank. So the question is, how do we fill in this column? Well, I want you to think about when you sell, say you sell 4 avocados, how would you figure out the revenue that comes from selling 4 avocados? What would you need to know to figure out your total revenue? Well, your total revenue is the dollar amount that you bring in from selling 4 avocados. Well, you bring in whatever the price of an avocado is times 4 here. The question is, what's the price of an avocado? Up here it says 8 when I sell 0 avocados, which would mean that my total revenue must be, if I sell 0, how much money did I bring in? Well, it has to be 0. I didn't sell anything, so I didn't make any money. Now, for the next one, for the first avocado I sell, well, what's the price here? This is where it gets kind of tricky, and it's something that's very important for you to understand about perfect competition. What was the price that Mr. Sutton paid the other day when he bought in the perfectly competitive market? Think about when you sold your peppermints. What was the price? Always, always, always in each round. It was the same. It was 5 cents. Regardless of what you guys tried to do, the price always stayed at 5 cents. And so that's the thing that's unique about perfect competition. Because there are so many competitors, the price stays the same. A consumer can find the product at any given price, at the same price. All the sellers have to sell for the same price. That is why they are called price takers. They take what they can get when it comes to the price. So when the price is here at 8, well, that means that it's just 8 all the way down. Okay? So you can fill it in. Oh, I filled in one too many. Just like that. Now, total revenue. Well, how the heck do I find my total revenue? Well, how did you find 0 here? You looked at the quantity, the level of output, and you looked at the price. Okay, but I sold 0 at $8, so that meant I brought in $0. Well, this first one here, I sold 1 for $8. So how many dollars did I bring in? Well, it sure sounds like 8 to me. The second, I sold 2 here, 2 avocados, at $8 a piece. So that must be 16. If you notice what I'm doing here, all I'm doing is taking the price and I'm multiplying by my quantity. And that's your total revenue formula there. So that just means that these are going to go up like so: 24, 32, 40, 48. Go ahead and take a stab and fill out the last 3 before I get there. 56, 64, and 72. All right? Simple enough. Hopefully you're with me all the way here. Now, let's talk about profit. We've talked about profit and how to figure this out. So I'm going to actually have you do this, and then I'm going to stop the video, this first video right here. So I want you to figure out your profits here. So remember, to figure out profit, you got to figure out how much money you brought in, your total revenue, and then you have to subtract how much money went out, which is your total cost. So go ahead, figure out what your total revenue minus your total cost is for each row here going down the column. Do that and then check out the next video. Oh, that's not what I wanted.